James II and 7th of Scotland, 1685 to 1688. I was converted to a Catholicism and became very unpopular because of my persecution of the Protestant clergy, and was generally hated by people. Finally, the Parliament asked the Dutch Prince William of Orange to take the throne.
I sailed my fleet of over 4,050 ships and landed my troops in Devon in Torbay Harbour. I marched with my army on to London in the Glorious Revolution of 1688. I accept the Bill of Rights, one of the main constitutional documents together with the Magna Carta and the Petitions of Right.
The army and parliament asked me to take the throne. I was very popular but a bit inept. The Great Plague in 1665 and the Great Fire of London in 1666 took place during my reign. Many new buildings were built at this time. St. Paul's Cathedral was built by Sir Christopher Wren.
I tried to get married with Maria Anna of Spain, but I was rejected because England was a Protestant country. I believed that I ruled by divine right, so I found difficult to reign with the parliament, and I didn't accept the constitutional document, the Petition of Right. This led to the outbreak of the English Civil War in 1642. I was beheaded.
I was a sickly boy. It succeeded my father at the age of 9. Even though my reign was short, many men made the remark. Cranmer wrote the Book of Common Prayer, and the uniformity of worship helped turn England into a Protestant state.
My years on the throne were difficult. The First World War in 1914, 1918, and the troubles in Ireland, which led to the creation of the Irish Free State, were considerable problems.
It was established the supremacy of the elected British House of Commons over the unelected House of Lords, and in 1924 the first Labour PM was appointed.
I was known as the Sailor King, and people loved me because of my lack of pretension.
During my reign, the poor law was updated, child labor restricted, slavery abolished in nearly all of the British Empire. I was the uncle of Queen Victoria.
I headed the parliamentary campaign against the British slave trade for 20 years until the passage of the Slave Trade Act 1807. I also created the Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals. He supported the campaign for the complete abolition of slavery that led to the Slavery Abolition Act 1833, which abolished slavery in most of the British Empire.
I'm Emmeline Pankhurst. I organized the UK suffragette movement and helped women win the right to vote. I tried to join the left-leaning Independent Labour Party, but I was initially refused membership by the local branch on account of my sex. While working as a pool law guardian, I was shocked at the harsh conditions I encountered in Manchester's workhouses.
I was the Prime Minister who led Britain to victory in the Second World War against Hitler. Ideologically, I was an economic liberal. I began and ended my parliamentary career as a member of the Conservative Party. I received the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1953, and I'm considered the most important figure in British history.
Elizabeth II. Like my parents, I was heavily involved in the war effort during the Second World War, serving in the women's branch of the British Army. I became the Queen of 7 Commonwealth countries.
In 2015, I became Britain's longest-serving monarch, ruling longer than my great-great-grandmother, Queen Victoria, who reigned for 63 years.
I began the definitive conquest of Britain after earlier invasions by Caesar and Caligula. Due to my limp and slick deafness nobody of potential enemies saw me as a serious threat, so I became the Roman Emperor. I was an able and efficient administrator and an ambitious builder, constructing many new roads, aqueducts, and canals across the empire.
The first direct Roman contact with Britain was when I undertook two expeditions in 55 and 54 BC as part of my conquest of Gaul. I thought that the Britons were helping the Galactic resistance. I conquered no territory and left no troops behind, but I established clients and brought Britain into Rome's sphere of influence.
I was the king of the British Celtic Icing tribe. I was flogged and my daughter raped. I led an uprising against the occupying force of the Roman Empire. I defeated an detachment of the Legion 9th century Spain and burned and destroyed Londinium. 17,000 Romans and British were killed and tortured.
I was the last Viking king of the North Sea Empire. I became king of all England following the death of Edmund II. I ruled well, gained favor with my English subjects by sending most of my army back to Denmark.
At the beginning of the 9th century, England was almost completely under the control of the Anglo-Saxons, with Mercia and Wessex, the most important southern kingdoms. I was the first monarch to establish a stable and sensitive rule over all of Anglo-Saxon England. I had the title of Rewalda, that means for the Anglo-Saxon, ruler of the British.
I was the Anglo-Saxon king of Wessex. I defeated a Danish army while my eldest son, Aldelstan, fought and beat the Danes at sea off the coast of Kent, in what is believed to be the first naval battle.
I established the Saxon Christian rule over Wessex and then on the most of England. To secure my hard-won boundaries, I founded a permanent army and an embroidered royal navy. To secure my place in history, I began the Anglo-Saxon Chronicles. With my primary education began to be taught in English instead of Latin.
I defeat a combined army of Scots, Celts, Danes, and Vikings. The battle saw for the first time individual Anglo-Saxon kingdoms being brought together to create a single and unified England. After conquering the Viking kingdom of York, I was the first Anglo-Saxon ruler of the whole of England and kind of all Britain.
I was the first Norman king. I ordered the compilation of the Domesday Book where all of England was recorded, so I knew exactly what my new kingdom contained and how much tax I could raise in order to fund my armies. I also developed a massive plan to build castles.
I was not popular kings. Give me extravis, glory, and my lot of natural dignity with no cultivated taste. Little show on conventional religion, yet an addiction to every kind of vice. But I think I was a swift rule and victorious general. I maintained good order and satisfactory use in England.
I was well educated and I founded a zoo at in Oxfordshire to study animals. It was called the Lion of Justice, as I have England good laws, even if the punishments were ferocious.
I was a very weak king, and the whole country was almost destroyed by the constant raids by the Scots and the Welsh and the Civil War. During my reign, the Norman barons wielded great power, extorting money and looting town and country. My reign was known as the Anarchy.
I'm Nelson Mandela. I was a lawyer, anti-apartheid activist, politician, and South African philanthropist for president over his country from 1994 to 1999.
I was the first black president who led the executive branch and the first to be elected by universal suffrage in his country. I fought for equality and respect for the rights of blacks in South Africa, in my native country.
I am a Robert Peel. I am a British statesman and politician of the Conservative Party.
I was born in the town of Ramsbottom, England, in a wealthy family of the bourgeoisie. I was Prime Minister of United Kingdom between the 10th of December of 1834 and 8th of April 1835.
And from August 30, 1841 to June 29, 1846.
I am Mahatma Gandhi. I was born on October 2, 1869, and I was died murdered January 13, 1948. I was the most prominent leader of the Indian independence movement against the British Raj,
for which I practiced non-violence civil disobedience, as well as an Indian pacifist, political thinker and lawyer. I received the honorary name of Mahat from Rabindranath Tagore.
I am Lloyd George. I was a British politician, Prime Minister between 1916 and 1922, during the last stage of World War I and the early post-war years. I was born in Manchester on January 17, 1863, in a Welsh family. I was the son of a rural teacher.
I grew up in Cranbourne County and worked as an intern for a law firm in Nine Young. I participated in Welsh politics since I began to practice law, and I was elected deputy by the Liberal Party in the House of Commons in 1890.
I was Winston Churchill. I was a British politician
statesman, historian, and writer, known for my leaderships of United Kingdom during World War II.
I was considered one of the grand leaders of wartime, and I was Prime Minister of United Kingdom in two periods. I was a British Army officer. I was the first Prime Minister with a Nobel in Literature.
I wanna get to your clothes, gotta get it right.